Oh my gosh, I did it again. I pushed the thing and I think that it's going and I'm sitting here just talking away. And then I look up and hadn't even started. Oh my God. It's so weird. It's happened twice today. I think in my whole time of doing this, it's probably happened 3 times altogether. And 2 of the times it's been this morning. This day is weird already. And it is weird already. I woke up and I was laying there for so long. I was like, okay, it's got to be almost morning. And since it's mostly dark here, you can't tell. And when I got up and came out and looked, it was like 2:30. I was like, oh my God. And I go lay back down. It's like, okay, I'm just going to try real hard to go back to sleep. I just couldn't go back to sleep. So finally, let's just get up. But it's still, I mean, hours away from light. Another weird thing too with our temperature, they had the temperature being up in the night. Then once it starts to be dawn, it dipped way down and then went up. Supposedly it's going to go back up and then it's going to start going back up. It's like, why did they have this little dip all of a sudden, you know? It's like weird. It doesn't make sense. There's so much stuff that just doesn't make sense. That, okay, if the temperature's all being one thing and there's no, you know, nothing came in to change it. So it should be going up as the morning comes, you know, as the sun brings the dawn. But anyways, this whole thing with religion, and because back in the day, you had to be something. You were a Catholic, you were a Christian, you were Jewish, you were Muslim, you were something. You know, you had some kind of part of you that was a connection to religion. And then when some of us start saying, I'm not about this religion. And we started kind of going off on our own and trying to figure out, like, what's this all about? You know, this isn't making sense, what they're saying. Besides the fact, how does every religion think that they're right? That was one of the biggest things. How does each one think they're more right than the other? And one of the things that I learned along the way, too, was that it's when all religions can come together and understand that everybody has a little piece of knowledge, that is when we get the full picture. As long as we stay divided, we're not ever going to have the full picture. We have to come together in unity. That's when we complete the picture. That's when we understand, because the puzzle is complete and we can see it all. But as long as there's division, you know, I'm right and you're wrong, I'm right and you're wrong, then that holds us back from the truth. So when I started going off, you know, it was, you know, I was finding all my answers in reincarnation and near-death experiences and stuff. It just resonated with me. But they started calling us New Agers. And, you know, they had to lump us together and call us something. Because, I mean, they got to put it in movies and make fun of us and, you know, belittle us and make it sound like we're a bunch of kooks. And I see it all the time in movies. You know, people who believe in aliens. Oh, they're a bunch of crazy cults. They're going to kill themselves and jump on a spaceship as it passes, you know, and that's happened. And who knows if it really happened or if it was just some sort of hologram experience that they told us happened. I mean, I don't know. I've never talked to anybody who knew any of the people. So I don't know. If we don't know somebody who was really in the experience, how do we know that an experience even exists? And then even when someone comes out, I mean, they pay people to come out and say stuff. This is the most manipulated environment. It's absolute insanity. So when the New Age people, you know, were coming out and they're discounting them and belittling them, and now, you know, they're trying to lump them in as with the Luciferian agenda or something, because, you know, people understand more about energy and consciousness and stuff. And it's kind of like this archaic way of looking at that is witchcraft. And there's still, you know, lots of people who want to go back and hang up on that and think that the people who are not following Jesus, that they are, you know, witches, part of the Luciferian agenda, that they don't care about God, you know, and all this stuff. And that's all part of their manipulation, their storytelling. You know, because once you do break free from all of these religions, which religions were just containers, they were just ways to contain us, to manipulate us and direct us in our beliefs of, you know, our connection to the Almighty. So they had to manipulate that too. You know, they couldn't have us go outside the box and connect for ourselves. That would just be, ooh, scary. What'll happen then? I'll tell you what'll happen. You start knowing that they're fucking lying. They're liars. They lie about everything. And all of the stuff is so manipulated. And the whole thing with New Age, I mean, it's very expansive. It's not, you can't just label it. I mean, you got people in there that are New Agers, you know, that are all about crystals. They're all about yoga. They're all about meditation. Like I'm into all of those things. This is all about mind-body connection. You know, I have a little crystal grid next to my bed. I'm not somebody who's out, you know, gathering crystals, who can tell you all about the crystals. There's lots of people like that, you know, that there's a lot of power in crystals. And we're just going to be learning about that. But you can go talk to people who understand about crystals, and you'll learn a lot about crystals. And go talk to some people, you know, like there's stuff about flat earthers. And when they talk about the time period of, you know, when things were crystalline on this planet, it has to do with crystals. It has to do with energy. It has to do with carbon base and crystalline base. So there's significant things about crystals and energy. And, you know, there's a lot to learn about it. And reincarnation, there's so much to learn about with reincarnation. There's so many people, you know, if you're looking for stuff about it. I mean, mine was such a long time ago. I was reading Shirley MacLaine. You know, I don't even know if you could find her books now. I would imagine you could. They were great back then, but now there's so much more information out there. It's like tons and tons of information. And, you know, they didn't want us to understand that we had several lives, because you know, they can really control us if we think we've only got one. You know, we'll do anything. Anything you say. Just let us, you know, have this peace in this life. And, you know, when you understand you've got one after another, after another, after another, then you don't stress out about some of the stuff. You know, you can see through their bullshit. You see through their lies. And, I don't know. I think it's part of just more of just our manipulation, because the more you connect with yourself, the more you know, connect with your mind, body, spirit, the more you listen to your spirit, the more it talks, the more you connect with it, and you allow it to connect with all of the consciousness that's outside around it, the more your questions become complete, your knowledge, your understanding of what's going on. And you know, it's the connection to yourself and your higher aspect. And, you know, the consciousness around us is what we, you know, really begin to understand who and what we are, not in the words that they tell us, because that is to manipulate us. And everything they've done has been used to manipulate us. That's why it's so important for you to go into your own self. You know, don't go through someone else's higher self. And we got lots of people out here just like me talking about what I'm being told. But it's super, super important for you to go in and start connecting for yourself, so you know what you're being told. Because each of us is on our own journey, our own path, just like this awakening is happening in such a variety of ways in everybody's life. It is the same thing as like when you connect with yourself, it will give you direction. And it can be, you know, it can mess with your head if you are listening to someone else, what they say about something, because that can be just their guidance, their instructions of what they're supposed to do to maneuver through what they're going through. So each person has specific ones. So you go in and, you know, you hear somebody say, oh, do this, do that. Like you know, do this, do that. And then you go and you try and do it. And it's like, oh, this isn't working. This isn't right. It's not feeling right. And it's because that would be more of my guidance and I'm sharing it, but it doesn't mean that it's your guidance. Your guidance is inside of you. There's an overall guidance, I think, but we all have very distinct personal guidance too. And it is really important to connect. And we've just got to release all of this stuff. They just are going to continue to try and manipulate us from being able to connect with ourselves. And so, I mean, it's like they're trying to hold us back from becoming the gods that we are. And you have to see past what they're doing and what they're saying. And you have to, that's the empowerment, you know, to not listen to them. It's very empowering when you start realizing, hey, they don't have control over me. They don't have dominion over me. I'm a freaking sovereign living being. I'm eternal. I'm consciousness. I'm here having an experience. They can't control me and manipulate me. And, you know, and if they are, that's part of your process to learn. And so you can witness it, so you can grow from it. So it's just, there's so much stuff going on, and it's so different for everybody. And it's very valid for you to go in and really try and connect with yourself. And if you haven't done it, it can be super awkward. I talk about a lot of different techniques and stuff along the way, you know, throughout my videos, to help people so that they can all start connecting with their own inner guidance and start trusting your information and start understanding that you got to use discernment for what's coming in here. You're not just, you know, creating thoughts. There's communication happening all the time. So, anyways, I'll probably be back, but I'll end this one here because I'm talking too long again.